How to transform your body, lose fat, and gain muscle through nutrition. Hello, dear Lusher, and welcome to Sleep Lush. If you've found your way here, perhaps curled up with a soft pillow, the world quieting around you, and your mind ready to drift into the gentle embrace of rest, you're exactly where you belong. Before we drift deeper, I'd love to hear where you're joining us from. Drop a comment to share your time zone or what's outside your window. It's a joy to connect with you. If these soothing explorations of Sleep Lush resonate with you, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Your support helps this tranquil channel grow, bringing more restful content to night owls and early risers alike. Now let your breath soften, your worries melt like mist, and your mind float gently toward rest. Settle in, and let's begin our journey into the peaceful, restorative world of sleep. On today's video, we're embarking on a tranquil journey into the science of body transformation, from burning fat to building muscle. This video is crafted to cradle you in calm, so if you slip into dreams before we unravel science role in your fitness goals, that's a victory. But if the science of body transformation sparks your curiosity, you may find new secrets to amplify your nutrition and training. Chapter 1: Introduction: Busting Fitness, Myths, and Setting the Stage. Have you ever watched someone transform their body, shedding fat, building muscle, and looking like they cracked some secret code while you've been grinding for months with barely any progress? Maybe you've tried every diet, every workout plan, every supplement that promises results, but the mirror just isn't reflecting the effort. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you're not the problem. The real issue? The fitness industry has been feeding you myths for years, and it's time to set the record straight. I'm here to walk you through the exact nutritional strategies that can help you achieve what many think is impossible: losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time. This isn't about gimmicks, expensive powders, or starving yourself. It's about understanding the science that most fitness influencers completely ignore. Science that's been tested in labs with real people getting real results. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, practical roadmap to transform your body without obsessing over every bite or living in the gym. Let's start with a story. Meet Anna, a 30-year-old office worker who wanted to get leaner and stronger. She followed the advice she found online, eating 6 small meals a day, chugging a protein shake right after every workout, and avoiding carbs after 6 p.m. She was exhausted, hungry, and frustrated when the scale didn't budge. Sound familiar? Anna's story is common because the fitness industry thrives on confusion. It pushes rules like you must eat every 2 to 3 hours to keep your metabolism burning, or you can only absorb 30 grams of protein per meal, or my personal favorite, if you don't eat protein within 30 minutes of your workout, you'll lose all your gains. Let's be real, most of that is nonsense. Here's the truth. The science of body transformation is simpler and more flexible than you've been told. You don't need to live like a bodybuilder or follow a rigid meal plan that makes you dread every day. You just need to understand a few key principles, starting with nutrition, which drives 70 to 80% of your body composition results. Think of your body like a car. Your workouts are the engine, pushing you forward, but nutrition is the fuel. Without the right fuel, you're not going anywhere. So what are some of these myths holding you back? Let's tackle a few more. You've probably heard that carbs make you fat. Not true. Carbs are your body's preferred energy source, and the right ones can fuel your workouts and recovery. Or maybe you've been told fasted cardio burns more fat. Studies show it doesn't matter whether you train fed or fasted as long as your total calorie balance is right. Another big one, you need supplements to build muscle. Wrong again. Whole foods can get you there, and supplements are just a convenience, not a necessity. Why does this misinformation persist? Simple. It sells. The fitness industry is a multi-billion-dollar machine, and complicated rules keep you buying supplements, meal plans, and gadgets. But here's the good news. You don't need any of that. What you need is knowledge. Knowledge about how your body actually works, backed by science, not hype. Today, we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the foundation of body transformation, protein. You'll learn why it's the most critical nutrient for losing fat and gaining muscle, and how much you really need. Then, we'll debunk the myths around meal timing, like that so-called anabolic window you've been stressing about. We'll dive into how you can structure your meals, whether you love big dinners or prefer snacking throughout the day, and still hit your goals. We'll explore the science of body recomposition, showing you how regular people, not just athletes, can burn fat and build muscles simultaneously. And we'll wrap up with practical, real world strategies to make this work for your life, no matter how busy you are. This isn't just theory, it's based on decades of research, from controlled studies to real world results, like those discussed by experts like Alan Aragon on the Huberman Lab podcast. Whether you're a beginner, a busy parent, or someone who's been training for years, this video will give you the tools to transform your body without the stress or confusion. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into the science that's going to change the way you think about nutrition forever. Ready? Let's go. Chapter 2: The Critical Role of Protein in Body Transformation. If there's one thing you take away from this chapter, let it be this: protein is the cornerstone of transforming your body. It's not just an important nutrient, it's absolutely non-negotiable. Whether your goal is to shed fat, build muscle, or do both simultaneously, protein is the nutrient that makes all of it possible. But understanding this isn't just about understanding the concept. It's about applying it in a strategic, informed way. Many people think that hitting the gym hard or cutting calories alone will do the trick, but without adequate protein intake, progress stalls and body transformation becomes significantly harder. Why is protein so critical? Protein's importance in body transformation boils down to three fundamental roles it plays within your body. These functions are often overlooked or misunderstood, yet they are the fuel behind every fat loss and muscle building success story. 1. Support for lean tissue and muscle repair muscles are your metabolic engine. They're responsible for burning calories even when you're resting. When you work out, especially during strength training or resistance exercises, you create small tears in your muscle fibers. This is a good thing because it signals your body to repair and strengthen those fibers, making your muscles bigger, stronger, and more resistant to fatigue. But here's the catch: this repair process can't happen without amino acids, the building blocks of protein. When you consume enough protein, your body has the raw materials to repair those muscle tears quickly and efficiently. This repair process leads to muscle growth over time, which not only makes you stronger and more athletic, but it also increases your resting metabolic rate, a key factor in fat burning. Without sufficient protein, your muscles can't recover properly. This leads to a cycle where your training doesn't produce optimal gains and you risk muscle loss, especially if you're losing weight through calorie restriction alone. In essence, protein acts as the scaffolding necessary for your body to rebuild stronger, more resilient muscles, which is vital for body transformation. 2. Satiety and appetite control. Protein also plays a crucial role in controlling hunger. If you've ever eaten a huge plate of pasta only to feel hungry an hour later, but a protein rich meal keeps you full for hours, you've already experienced protein's satiating power. This effect stems from its influence on hunger hormones. Protein decreases levels of ghrelin, the hormone that signals hunger, while increasing the production of GLP-1 and PYY, hormones that promote feelings of fullness. This dual action makes protein the most satisfying macronutrient, helping you eat less without feeling deprived. For anyone trying to lose fat, this is a game changer. When you're in a calorie deficit, controlling hunger is often the hardest part. Eating enough protein helps you stay on track by making restrictive dieting more sustainable, reducing cravings, and preventing overeating. 3. The thermic effect of food, TEF. Another often overlooked aspect is the thermic effect of food, the energy your body spends digesting, absorbing, and processing nutrients. Protein has the highest TEF of all macronutrients. Approximately 26 to 30% of the calories in protein are burned during digestion. To put that into perspective, if you eat 100 calories worth of protein, your body might burn 20 to 30 calories just processing it. In contrast, carbs burn about 5 to 10%, and fats roughly 0 to 3%. This means that simply increasing your protein intake can slightly boost your daily calorie expenditure, an added bonus for fat loss. Debunking myths about the protein intake. Despite its importance, misconceptions about protein abound, especially myths that can hinder your progress. Myth 1: you can only use 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. This widely held belief suggests that consuming more than 20-30 grams of protein at once is wasted because your body can only use a limited amount for muscle synthesis. This idea originated from early studies on muscle protein synthesis, MPS, which noted that initial responses plateaued after about 20 grams in young men post-exercise. However, this is an oversimplification. MPS is only one part of how your body handles protein. The reality: protein is used for many functions. When you eat protein, it doesn't just go straight to your muscles. It first enters your amino acid pool, a kind of reservoir in your bloodstream and tissues that can be tapped into for several hours or even for a full day. Your body uses amino acids to support various functions, repairing tissues, producing enzymes, creating hormones, supporting immune function, and maintaining overall cellular health. Recent research shows that larger doses of protein, up to 40, 50, or even 100 grams per meal, can lead to greater muscle protein synthesis, especially in individuals who are larger, highly active, or engaged in intense training. The old belief that more is wasted is outdated. Instead, your protein needs to depend on your body size, activity level, and goals. How much protein do you really need? So, how do you translate this into your daily routine? The consensus based on current research suggests aiming for approximately 0.4 0.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per meal. This roughly equals 0.20 grams per pound. For example, so a 150-pound person should aim for about 30 to 37.5 grams of protein per meal. A 200-pound person should target approximately 40 to 50 grams per meal. If you eat 3 meals a day, hitting this range is straightforward and sufficient for most people to meet their daily protein needs, especially when combined with a total daily intake of around 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight, which is recommended for muscle maintenance and growth. Is high protein harmful to your kidneys? One common concern is that high protein diets damage kidneys. This myth is rooted in studies on individuals with pre existing kidney issues. For healthy people, however, there's no evidence to support this claim. A 2018 review published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition confirms that high protein diets are safe for healthy kidneys. Unless you have a diagnosed kidney condition, you can confidently prioritize protein without worrying about renal damage. Practical tips for incorporating more protein. Achieving adequate protein intake isn't complicated once you understand these principles. Here are some practical strategies. Prioritize protein at every meal. Include a source of protein such as lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, beans, or plant-based options. Choose high-quality sources. Animal-based proteins like chicken, turkey, eggs, and fish are complete proteins, meaning they contain all essential amino acids. Plant-based options like lentils, chickpeas, and quinoa are excellent too, especially when combined throughout the day. Include protein at snacks. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, nuts, seeds, or protein bars can help you meet your targets. Utilize protein supplements. Whey, casein, or plant-based protein powders can be convenient, especially post-workout or when you're short on time. Analogy. Protein as the building bricks. Think of your body as a house under constant construction and renovation. Your workouts are the construction crew breaking down walls and creating a blueprint for expansion. The bricks are your protein. Without enough bricks, the house can't be built or repaired efficiently. With a steady supply of quality bricks, your body can rebuild stronger, more resilient muscles while keeping everything else in working order. Who needs more protein? This applies universally, regardless of age, gender, or activity level. Beginners, more protein helps build muscle faster, especially early on. Older adults, as you age, muscle mass naturally declines, a process called sarcopenia. Ensuring high protein intake helps preserve muscle and maintain strength. Women and men, regardless of gender, protein supports body composition goals. Athletes and active individuals, higher protein intake helps repair muscle damage and supports recovery. People in calorie deficit, adequate protein prevents muscle loss while losing fat. To sum it up, protein isn't just one of many nutrients. It's the foundational element of body transformation. It supports muscle repair, enhances fat loss by controlling hunger, and slightly boosts your metabolism through the thermic effect of food. Ignoring it or undervaluing its importance can sabotage your efforts. In your journey to lose fat and gain muscle, plan your meals to include enough high-quality protein consistently throughout the day. Make it a priority, and your body will thank you with improved strength, faster fat loss, and a healthier, more resilient physique. Now, with this expanded understanding, you're well equipped to use protein strategically as part of your body transformation plan. In the next chapter, We'll explore whether meal timing, specifically post workout nutrition, is really critical or if it's just a marketing myth. Spoiler alert, it's not what you think. Chapter 3: Protein Timing and the Anabolic Window Myth. If you've ever rushed to chug a protein shake immediately after your last set, you're not alone. For years, the fitness and supplement industries have pushed the idea that there's a critical anabolic window, a narrow 30 to 60-minute period right after training, during which consuming protein is the key to maximizing muscle growth. Miss it, and your effort in the gym is supposedly wasted. This mentality has caused many to feel stressed and anxious about their post workout routines, often leading to unnecessary obsession with timing over substance. But here's the truth: the anabolic window is largely a myth. Your muscles don't suddenly stop building or repairing once that window closes. The science shows us that while nutrition is important, the timing isn't nearly as critical as many believe. The real key is total daily protein intake and consistency. The origin of the myth. The idea of the anabolic window originated from early research in the 1990s, where scientists observed that muscle protein synthesis, MPS, the process by which your muscles repair and grow, was elevated after resistance training, especially when combined with immediate post workout protein intake. Many of these studies involved fasting participants, people who had trained after an overnight fast, with no recent meal to revive their amino acid pools. Under these conditions, promptly eating protein seemed vital because their bodies lacked circulating amino acids, the building blocks for muscle repair. However, most people don't train after fasting. Most have eaten in the hours leading up to their workout, meaning amino acids are already circulating in their bloodstream and tissues, ready to support recovery during and after exercise. This difference is crucial because it fundamentally shifts how we should view nutrient timing. The extended muscle building window. The game changer in understanding muscle growth and recovery is recognizing that resistance training elevates MPS for up to 72 hours, not just a fleeting 30-minute period. Recent studies, such as the influential 2016 research by Damas et al., have shown that muscle protein synthesis peaks within the first 24-48 hours after training, then gradually declines but remains elevated for days. This means muscle building is a prolonged process, not limited to a small post-exercise window. Think of it like a construction project. The first few hours after demolition are important, but the entire week is dedicated to rebuilding and reinforcement. Your training triggers an ongoing repair process, which your daily nutrition supports. Is post-workout protein still important? While the notion of an immediate post-workout window may be overstated, it's not irrelevant. Consuming protein close to your workout can still be beneficial, especially if you haven't eaten in the hours before training. The key is matching your intake to your schedule and overall needs, rather than stressing over a rigid window. Research, including a 2013 meta-analysis by Schoenfeld et al., has shown that as long as your total daily protein intake is adequate, roughly 0.7 grams per pound of body weight, the exact timing of protein consumption around workouts has minimal impact on overall muscle growth and fat loss. Practical implications, flexibility, and freedom. Let's paint a realistic picture. Suppose you're training at 6 p.m. and your last meal was at noon. That means your amino acid pool is still active, fueling your workout and supporting recovery. After your session, you don't need to sprint to the fridge for a protein shake. A balanced meal or snack with sufficient protein when it's convenient is enough. Research shows nutrients from a meal, especially one containing protein, can circulate in your bloodstream for up to 3 to 6 hours. Larger, protein rich meals with carbs and fats are digested more slowly, extending the availability of amino acids. The timing window for muscle repair and growth is broad, days, not just hours. This evidence liberates you from rigid timing rules. You can train in the morning and eat afterward, or lift in the evening and have your meal later. The focus should be on total daily protein intake and consistency, rather than obsessing over catching that perfect anabolic window. Busting related myths. Myth 1: you need to eat every 2 to 3 hours to keep your metabolism fire burning. This myth originated from bodybuilding circles that believed frequent meals stoke the metabolism and promote fat loss. While it's true that eating small, frequent meals can help control hunger and stabilize blood sugar, scientific evidence shows no significant difference in fat loss or metabolic rate between eating 3 large meals or 6 smaller ones, assuming total calories and protein stay the same. A 2014 study in nutrition and metabolism found that meal frequency didn't impact body composition. So if you prefer fewer, larger meals, you don't need to eat every 2-3 hours just for the sake of increasing your metabolism. Myth 2: fasted training burns more fat. Many enthusiasts swear by fasted cardio, training on an empty stomach, believing it accelerates fat loss. However, research, including a 2014 study in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition, indicates no significant difference in fat loss between fasted and fed workouts, provided total calorie intake is consistent. Fasted training may feel tougher for some, and if you enjoy it, that's fine. But it's not a magic fat burning shortcut. The key factors for fat loss remain calorie balance and exercise consistency, not meal timing. A case study, real life application. Imagine Alex, a 40-year-old father of 2 who trains early in the morning at 7 a.m. He prefers to skip breakfast and works out in a fasted state. After his workout, he waits until noon to eat a large lunch containing 50 grams of protein, say chicken, rice, and vegetables. Even though many would worry about missing the anabolic window, the science supports Alex's approach. His muscle recovery and growth are supported by his training, and the amino acids from the meal sustain muscle repair for hours afterward. Similarly, Lisa, who trains at 6 p.m., can enjoy her regular dinner with plenty of protein without feeling she's lost her gains. The main point: timing is flexible on how to incorporate this into your routine. Second 1, focus on total daily protein. Prioritize hitting your daily protein goals. Spread throughout the day in a way that fits your schedule. 2, eat when it's convenient. Whether you prefer 3 large meals or 6 smaller ones, it's okay. The science says total protein intake matters more than frequency or timing. 3, train when you like, morning, afternoon, or evening. Your muscles are in building mode for up to 72 hours after training. 4, don't stress over post-workout nutrition. If it's convenient, have a protein-rich meal or shake within a couple of hours afterward, but it's not essential. 5, balance your meals. While protein is key, don't neglect carbs and fats. They support energy, recovery, and overall health. The psychological perspective: letting go of stress. Constantly fretting over the perfect meal timing can lead to unnecessary stress, making nutrition seem complicated and burdensome. When you understand that the anabolic window is a flexible concept, you can relax and focus on consistency instead. If you're a busy parent, a professional on the go, or someone who simply prefers fewer meals, know that your body adapts. It's smarter than the old rules we've been told. Final thoughts. The myth of the anabolic window has caused many to panic about their post workout nutrition more than necessary. The truth is, your muscles aren't waiting for that perfect moment. They're receptive to nutrients for days after resistance training. As long as your total daily protein intake is adequate and consistent, you're optimizing your body's capacity to build muscle and burn fat. So, breathe easy, train hard, eat sufficiently, and let your body do what it does best: recover, repair, and transform at its own pace. In our next chapter, we'll explore how best to distribute your protein intake throughout the day, whether you prefer a few big meals or multiple small ones, and why your body's flexibility in this area is a major advantage. Chapter 4: Flexible Protein Distribution and Meal Frequency. One of the biggest barriers people face when trying to stick to a nutrition plan is the belief that they have to eat a certain way, like forcing down 5 or 6 small meals every single day to optimize their results. Maybe you've heard that eating more than 30 grams of protein at once is a waste, or that you need to spread your meals perfectly throughout the day to keep your muscles growing. If that sounds familiar, then I have good news. Your body is actually way more adaptable than that, and science supports this. Today, we're going to explore how you can distribute your protein intake in a way that fits your lifestyle, whether you're someone who loves big dinners, prefers snacking, or practices intermittent fasting. Let's start by addressing a common myth: the idea that your body can't handle more than 30 grams of protein at one time. This misconception comes from early muscle protein synthesis studies, which showed that in certain conditions, specifically among young men after fasting overnight, muscle protein synthesis peaked at about 20 to 30 grams of protein. The assumption was that anything beyond that was wasted, so why bother? Well, it turns out that's not the whole story. Your body doesn't just discard excess amino acids. Instead, it works smarter than that. How your body uses protein. When you consume protein, whether from eggs, chicken, fish, or plant sources, your digestive system breaks it down into individual amino acids. These amino acids enter your bloodstream, creating what's called an amino acid pool, a circulating reservoir of nutrients your body can draw from as needed. Once in this pool, amino acids can be used to support many different functions: building muscles, repairing tissues, supporting your immune system, making enzymes and hormones, and crucially, doing all this over several hours, not just during or immediately after your meal. A 2013 study by Arita et al. Shed light on this process. They found that larger doses of protein, like 40 or even 80 grams in a single meal, are effectively stored and used over several hours, not wasted. Imagine eating a big steak or a hearty vegan meal. It's not just fueling you for the moment, it's providing a sustained release of amino acids that support muscle repair and other vital functions for hours on end. The myth of the 30-gram limit. So let's settle the myth. Eating more than 30 grams of protein in one sitting is not wasteful. Your body can utilize and store those amino acids efficiently. It's a misconception rooted in early research, and it ignores the fact that your metabolism and amino acid pools are dynamic. Whether you're having a big dinner or a large lunch, your body will make good use of those nutrients. Real life applications, flexible meal sizes. Let's make this practical by looking at some scenarios. Scenario 1, Maria, a busy nurse. Maria works 12-hour shifts and doesn't always have time to eat every few hours. She typically starts her day with a modest breakfast providing about 20 grams of protein, then has a quick 30-gram lunch, and finally enjoys a substantial dinner with 60 grams of protein. Her total daily intake hits her target, say around 100 grams, and her body utilizes that protein over the course of the day. She doesn't need to eat every 2 hours or have tiny meals. The key is overall intake, not the timing or distribution per se. Scenario 2, Jake, an intermittent fasting practitioner. Jake loves intermittent fasting. He skips breakfast, opens his eating window at 2 p.m., and eats a 50-gram protein meal, then another 50-gram meal at 8 p.m. Despite not spreading his protein evenly, his muscles still get all the amino acids they need. The amino acid pool provides a continuous source, supporting muscle repair and growth even with fewer, larger meals. What does the science say about meal frequency? A 2018 study published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition directly compared people who ate their protein evenly across 4 meals versus those who consumed it in 2 larger meals. The results? Both groups experienced similar gains in muscle and fat loss, provided their total daily protein was equal. This insight is liberating. You don't have to obsess over eating exactly every 3 to 4 hours or snacking constantly. If you prefer fewer, bigger meals, you can absolutely do that and still optimize your results. Conversely, if you love smaller, Chapter 5, Total Daily Protein Targets for Recomposition. Now that you've understood that protein is the cornerstone of transforming your body, helping you lose fat, gain muscle, or both, it's natural to ask, exactly how much protein do I need to reach my goals? If you're serious about recomposition, losing fat while simultaneously building or preserving muscle, then your daily protein intake needs to be precise, consistent, and aligned with your body's demands. In this chapter, we'll walk through the science behind daily protein targets, how you can calculate yours, and why it's worth prioritizing this macronutrient. Spoiler: the amount you need is probably more than you're eating now, but don't worry, it's completely doable once you understand how to structure your intake. The big picture: why protein is non negotiable for recomposition. Recomposition means you want to burn fat for fuel while keeping or building lean muscle mass. That's a complicated task. You're asking your body to do two seemingly opposite things at once. To accomplish this, you need an adequate and strategic supply of protein, not just to support muscle growth, but also to preserve your existing muscle tissue during weight loss. So, what's the magic number? The range most supported by research is around 0.7 to 1.0 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. Why this range? Because studies like the one conducted by Longland et al. In 2016 have shown that higher protein intakes during a calorie deficit help preserve muscle mass and accelerate fat loss. Think of it this way: your body is undergoing a transformation akin to a renovation project while your house is on fire. Protein, the raw building materials, keeps your house intact during the chaos, preventing it from collapsing or appearing skinny fat. Without sufficient protein, especially in a calorie deficit, your body risks losing that vital lean tissue, which ironically slows your metabolism and hampers your long term fat loss efforts. How much protein do you really need? The precise amount depends on your body weight, your goals, your age, and your activity level. But the general consensus from research and expert guidelines points toward this range. For most people, aiming to lose fat and gain muscle, recomposition, zero point 0.7 to 1.0 grams per pound of body weight per day is ideal. For example, if you weigh 150 pounds, your target range is 105 to 150 grams daily. If you weigh 200 pounds, aim for 140 to 200 grams daily. This range is supported by multiple studies. For example, a 2016 study by Longland and colleagues found that higher protein intake during a calorie-restricted diet resulted in better muscle preservation and faster fat loss. The reason? Protein provides the amino acids necessary for muscle maintenance and repair during energy deficits. Why such a high protein intake? At first glance, these numbers might seem high, especially if your current diet is lower in protein. But consider what you're asking your body to do: burn fat for energy while building or maintaining muscle tissue. That's an extraordinary demand, and protein supplies the raw materials to accomplish it. Preserving lean muscle means you look leaner and more defined rather than saggy or skinny fat. Supporting your metabolism, muscles are metabolically active tissues, keeps you burning calories efficiently over the long term. Preventing muscle loss helps you avoid the skinny fat syndrome, where weight loss results in a loss of muscle and fat, leaving a softer or more untoned physique. How to calculate your protein's target. Calculating your protein needs is simple. 1. Find your body weight in pounds. 2. Choose your multiplier within the range, 0.7 to 1.0 grams per pound, based on your goals and body type. 3. Multiply your body weight by this number. For example, if you weigh 180 pounds and aim for 0.85 grams per pound, your target is 180 0.85, or 153 grams of protein per day. If you're unsure where to start, choose the middle ground, say 0.85 grams per pound. Tailoring your protein intake to your goals and lifestyle. While 0.7 1.0 grams per pound works well for most, your specific needs might be slightly higher or lower depending on certain factors. Let's break down some common considerations. 1. Your body composition and goals. Beginners and overweight individuals. If you're just starting out, or if you carry extra body fat, sticking to the lower end of the range, around 0.7 to 0.8 grams per pound, can be effective. Your focus should be on creating a calorie deficit to lose fat, but maintaining enough protein to preserve lean mass. Lean or more advanced lifters. If you're lean and training intensely or aiming for more dramatic physique changes, higher protein intake, closer to 1.0 grams per pound, can help preserve muscle during caloric deficits and support muscle growth when in surplus. Older adults, 50 plus. As we age, maintaining muscle becomes harder, a condition known as sarcopenia. Studies, including one published in Frontiers in Nutrition 2019, recommend closer to 1.0 grams per pound of protein for seniors to help preserve muscle mass and strength. 2. Your activity level and training routine. Resistance or strength training. The more intense and frequent your workouts, the higher your need for protein. Those lifting weights multiple times a week might want to aim toward the top of the range to support recovery. Endurance or cardio focus. While focused more on cardiovascular health, but if endurance training is involved, similar protein targets apply, especially for recovery. Sedentary lifestyle. If you're less active, your needs are likely lower, but still aiming for at least 0.5 to 0.7 grams per pound can be sufficient for basic maintenance. 3. Body size and composition. Larger individuals or those with more muscle mass will naturally need more protein. Smaller or less muscular individuals may need less, but since you're listening to your body and goals, use the range as a foundation. Example: a 120-pound person aiming for 0.8 grams per pound should target roughly 96 grams daily, while a 220-pound athlete might aim for approximately 176 grams. Practical strategies to hit your daily protein targets. Knowing your target is one thing, consistently hitting it is another. Here are practical tips and meal strategies to ensure you meet your goals each day. 1. Break it down. Spread your total daily protein evenly over 3 to 4 meals for optimal absorption and utilization. For example, if your target is 150 grams per day and you eat 4 meals, aim for about 30 that's at 38 grams per meal. 2. Prioritize protein at every meal. Include a protein source like chicken, fish, eggs, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, tofu, or beans in each meal. Use protein-rich snacks, hard-boiled eggs, beef jerky, protein bars, or nuts to fill gaps. 3. Use protein supplements strategically. Powders, whey, casein, plant-based, are convenient and consistent sources to help meet targets, especially post-workout or on busy days. Protein smoothies or shakes can be simple to prepare and high in protein, helping bridge gaps when food options are limited. 4. Focus on budget-friendly and versatile foods. Eggs, canned tuna or salmon, lentils, beans, and whole grains are affordable sources that pack a protein punch. Bulk buying can save money, and meal prepping reduces time and stress. 5. Maximize satiety and absorption. Combine protein with healthy fats, avocado, nuts, and carbs, sweet potatoes, oats, to enhance nutrient absorption and fullness. Avoid eating large amounts of protein in isolation, which can be less satisfying. Addressing concerns about high protein intake and digestive comfort. Digestive discomfort. If you're experiencing bloating, gas, or stomach upset when increasing protein intake, it's often due to sudden changes or certain sources like dairy or beans. To minimize this, it will gradually increase your intake over several weeks. Or try different protein sources to find what digestively agrees with you. Or incorporate digestive aids such as ginger or probiotics if needed. Ensure adequate hydration. Water helps your digestive system process nutrients efficiently. Kidney health fears. For healthy individuals, high protein diets don't harm kidney function. The concern stems from misconceptions, but current evidence strongly supports safety in people without pre-existing kidney conditions. Nonetheless, if you have kidney disease or other health issues, consult your healthcare provider. The role of protein timing in recomposition. While our focus here is on overall daily targets, let's briefly revisit why meal timing isn't as critical as previously believed, another myth dispelled by science. The key is consistency with total intake, rather than obsessing over eating protein immediately post-workout or every few hours. Research shows distributing your protein intake across 3 to 4 meals with about 30 to 40 grams each is effective. Alternately, larger, less frequent meals of 50-70 grams can support muscle preservation just as well. The most important factor is total daily intake and hitting your target consistently. Suppose you love big dinners? No problem. Just make sure the meal includes enough protein. If you prefer frequent eating or snacks, that's equally effective. Summary of key points about protein quantity. Let's distill this into practical takeaways. For most people aiming for recomposition, aim for 0.7 1.0 grams of protein per pound of body weight daily. This range preserves your muscle during weight loss and supports muscle gains. Use your body weight as a simple starting point. Multiply by your chosen factor to find your daily target. Consistency over perfection. Small fluctuations are okay. Hitting, for example, 120 grams instead of 130 isn't going to derail your progress. Incorporating protein into your daily routine. Achieving your target is easier than you might think if you develop simple, sustainable habits. Here are some strategies. 1. Meal planning and preparation. Plan your meals ahead. Prepare protein rich meals in advance to avoid last minute temptations or reliance on convenience foods. Batch cook. Make large quantities of chicken, beef, or plant based proteins like lentils and store them for quick assembly. Use leftovers, repurpose dinner leftovers into lunch or snacks. Smart shopping. Focus on affordable, versatile proteins such as eggs, canned fish, chicken breasts, lentils, beans, and tofu. Look for sales and buy in bulk. Incorporate economical options like eggs and oats, which provide substantial protein for a low cost. Incorporate protein in every snack. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, hard boiled eggs, beef jerky, and protein bars are convenient options. Smoothies with protein powder, milk or milk alternatives, and fruit can help you hit targets on busy days. Use protein supplements wisely. While whole foods are best, protein powders are a convenient supplement, particularly post-workout or when meal prep isn't feasible. Aim for powders that match your dietary preferences. Whey, casein, pea, hemp, or rice protein. Be creative and flexible. Mix and match foods to keep things interesting. Remember, your goal is total daily protein intake, not sticking rigidly to a specific meal composition. Why prioritize protein for recomposition? Let's revisit the core reasons why giving your body enough protein is essential. 1. Muscle preservation and growth. During a calorie deficit, your body may break down muscle tissue for energy. Adequate protein intake signals your body to preserve and even build muscle, which improves your body composition, boosts strength, and enhances appearance. Metabolic. Boost lean muscle tissue is metabolically active, meaning that the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. This helps sustain weight loss and improve overall metabolic health. Increased satiety and energy balance. High protein foods tend to be more filling, helping you control hunger and eat fewer calories overall. This makes it easier to stay in a calorie deficit. Chapter 6. Body Recomposition Science. For decades, the prevailing wisdom in the fitness world held that you simply can't lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. The logic was straightforward. Building muscle requires a calorie surplus, eating more calories than your body burns, while losing fat requires a calorie deficit, eating fewer calories. These opposing energy states made it seem impossible to do both concurrently. Consequently, most people believed that these were sequential processes, first bulk to build, then cut to reveal muscle, or vice versa. This cycle, often called bulking and cutting, became standard practice, especially among bodybuilders and serious athletes. But in recent years, scientific research has challenged and completely overturned this dogma, revealing that, under the right conditions, body recomposition, simultaneously losing fat and gaining muscle, is not only possible, but is a real, achievable goal for regular people and it all hinges on protein, that vital macronutrient, playing the starring role. What exactly is body recomposition? Let's start with a clear definition. Body recomposition is the process of changing your body composition, reducing fat mass while maintaining or increasing lean muscle tissue, without necessarily changing your scale weight significantly. Imagine stepping on the scale and seeing no substantial change, but your clothes fit better and your body looks leaner, more muscular, and toned. That's a sign that you are losing fat and gaining muscle simultaneously. Muscle is denser than fat, meaning that a pound of muscle takes up less space than a pound of fat. So even if your weight stays static, your shape and overall physique can improve immensely. Recomposition results in a more toned athletic appearance, better posture, increased strength, and metabolic benefits, while your scale might not tell the whole story. The old dogma, why we thought it was impossible. The reason this idea seemed impossible for so long is rooted in principles of energy balance, muscle growth, hypertrophy. To build muscle, you need a calorie surplus, eating more calories than you burn to provide the energy and raw materials for muscle synthesis. Fat loss, catabolism. To lose fat, you need a calorie deficit, eating fewer calories than you burn to encourage your body to use stored fat for energy. Because these states are opposite, it was believed that you had to choose one at a time, bulk up, then cut down, repeating the cycle. The myth persisted because early studies showed that high calorie diets stimulate muscle gain, but also promote fat gain, and calorie deficits promote fat loss, but can cause muscle loss, especially if protein intake is inadequate. Thus, the narrative was simple. To maximize both, you must time your efforts, bulk first, then cut. The paradigm shift in recent science turns old ideas upside down. Now, recent research is challenging this binary view. Instead, it suggests that with proper nutrition, training, and high protein intake, your body can simultaneously shed fat and build muscle, a phenomenon called body recomposition. Several pivotal studies have laid the groundwork. Longland et al. In 2016, conducted with regular people, not elite athletes, these participants followed a high protein diet, about 1.0 GLB, and resistance training while in a calorie deficit. Over 6 weeks, they lost fat and gained muscle, demonstrating that recomposition is real and practical. Han et al. 2018 pushed the envelope further by providing participants with up to 1.5 GLSAV of protein. The results? Significant fat loss coupled with muscle gains, defying the old rules about needing a surplus for muscle growth. Plant and animal-based studies demonstrating that adequate protein intake and resistance training override the need for a calorie surplus for muscle growth, even in caloric deficits. How energy partitioning facilitates recomposition. At the core of body recomposition is energy partitioning, the process by which your body determines how to allocate the calories you eat. Here's the key. High protein intake coupled with resistance training signals your body to prioritize muscle repair and growth, even in a calorie deficit. Imagine your body as a factory with limited resources: calories, amino acids, hormones, and cellular machinery. When you eat more protein and lift weights regularly, you send strong signals to this factory. Muscle repair and synthesis are prioritized. Amino acids from protein are continually delivered to muscle tissues, even when overall calories are restricted. Conversely, fat stores are mobilized to meet energy demands, especially during a calorie deficit, leading to fat loss. Here's the magic. Because of this signaling, your body preferentially uses fat stores for energy while maintaining or even increasing muscle mass. A true recomposition. Key biological mechanisms enabling recomposition. Several biological processes occur to facilitate this process. One, some elevated muscle protein synthesis, MPS. Resistance training stimulates muscle protein synthesis, MPS, the process of repairing and growing muscle tissue. When combined with high protein intake, MPS is enhanced and sustained over longer periods, tipping the scale towards muscle accumulation. The anabolic window concept, once thought to require immediate post workout feeding, is now understood as flexible. As long as daily protein consumption meets your targets, timing is less critical. Suppressed muscle protein breakdown, MPB. High protein intake also reduces muscle protein breakdown. Resistance training and dietary protein both capitalize on this, preserving muscle tissue in a caloric deficit, hormonal environment. Adequate protein and resistance exercise stimulate anabolic hormones like insulin, IGF-1, testosterone, which promote muscle growth. Simultaneously, they help regulate cortisol, a hormone that promotes muscle breakdown when elevated, fat mobilization, and oxidation. In a calorie deficit, your body releases fatty acids from fat stores. High-intensity resistance training amplifies fat oxidation, turning stored fat into usable energy. Ample protein helps maintain muscle strength and mass during this process. The practical power of protein and resistance training. In essence, protein and resistance training act together as strategic tools. Protein provides the raw materials, amino acids, for muscle repair and growth. Training provides the stimulus for muscles to adapt and grow. Together, they shift your energy partitioning towards fat loss with muscle preservation or gain. This understanding busts the myth that building muscle and losing fat must happen sequentially. Recomposition for different populations. Who can do this? Here's a breakdown. Beginners respond quickly to training stimulus, making recomposition easier. Overweight or obese individuals have ample stored fat to burn, and high protein, smart training can rapidly reshape their bodies. Trained athletes and advanced lifters can still achieve recomposition, but progress may be slower and require more precise programming, higher training intensity, meticulous nutrition, progressive overload, and sufficient protein. Older adults are increasingly proven to benefit from recomposition strategies. Protein and resistance exercise are crucial to combat sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. How to achieve recomposition in practice. 1. Resistance training. Aim for 3 to 5 sessions per week. Prioritize compound movements. Squats, deadlifts, presses, rows, pull-ups. These recruit multiple muscle groups and promote greater hypertrophy. Progressive overload. Gradually increase weight, reps, or intensity to stimulate continuous adaptation. Volume. Studies suggest 10 out of 20 sets per muscle group per week maximizes growth. Nutritional strategy. High protein intake, 0.7 1.0 grams per pound of body weight daily. Spread evenly across meals to optimize muscle protein synthesis. Caloric deficit, about 250,500 calories below maintenance level, sufficient to promote fat. 3 nutritional strategies continued. Caloric intake. Keep your calorie deficit moderate, around 250,500 calories below maintenance. This ensures your body has enough energy to support workouts and muscle repair while still promoting fat loss. Macronutrient balance. Prioritize protein, but don't neglect carbs and fats. Carbohydrates fuel training sessions and recovery, Healthy fats support hormone production. A typical macro split for recomposition might be O protein, 30 to 35%, O carbohydrates, the 40 to 50%, O fats, the 15 to 25%. Meal timing. Distribute protein evenly across meals, 3 to 4 per day, to maintain a positive nitrogen balance and stimulate muscle protein synthesis consistently. Hydration, adequate water intake aids digestion, nutrient delivery, and metabolism. Supplementation to support recomposition. While whole foods should be your foundation, certain supplements can make the process easier. Protein powder, convenient to reach daily targets, especially post workout. Creatine, supports strength gains and muscle retention. Branch chain amino acids, BCAAs, not necessary if you meet protein goals, but can be helpful if your diet is lacking. Omega 3 fatty acids support overall health and inflammation reduction. Vitamin D and multivitamins ensure micronutrient adequacy, especially in less sunny environments. Rest and recovery. Sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. Sleep is crucial for hormone regulation, muscle recovery, and overall health. Rest days. Incorporate adequate rest to prevent overtraining and allow muscle adaptation. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. While the science is clear, many people falter in practice. Here are common pitfalls and solutions. Thus, mistake 1, not eating enough protein. Solution: use your body weight as a guide. Aim for 0.7 to 1.0 grams per pound per day. Track your intake initially to build awareness. Mistake 2, overtraining without adequate recovery. Solution: follow a well-structured training plan with progressive overload, but include rest days. Listen to your body. Mistake 3, excessive focus on cardio. Solution: use resistance training as your primary stimulus for recomposition. Moderate cardio supports fat loss, but shouldn't replace weightlifting. Mistake 4, drastic calorie deficits. Solution: keep deficits moderate to preserve muscle. Rapid fat loss often leads to muscle loss and decreased metabolic rate. Mistake 5, neglecting consistency and patience. Solution: recomposition takes time. Be patient, stay consistent, and trust the process. Testing and tracking progress. To maximize success, track your food. Use an app or journal to monitor your daily intake of calories, macros, and protein. Monitor your body composition. Use mirror, photos, or measurements rather than solely relying on the scale. Adjust as needed. If progress stalls, tweak your calorie intake, training volume, or protein intake gradually. Focus on performance. Improved strength and endurance indicate muscle gains, while decreasing waist measurements signal fat loss. Sets the real-world example, achieving recomposition. Let's illustrate with a detailed example. Meet Jake, a 35-year-old office worker. Current weight, 180 pounds. Goals: that's to lose fat while gaining muscle. Training: resistance workouts 4 times a week. Diet: aims for 0.8 grams of protein per pound, about 144 grams day. Strategy: maintain a calorie deficit of 300 calories per day. Focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods: chicken, fish, eggs, lentils, vegetables. Spread protein evenly across meals. Track progress weekly. Prioritize strength training and include active recovery. Results after 12 weeks. Fat loss, 10 pounds. Muscle gain, 3 pounds. Improved physique, more defined, leaner, stronger. This example underscores how consistent nutrition and training, guided by science, can produce impressive transformations without crazy diets or rigid routines. The scientific backing and real-world evidence. The science behind body recomposition isn't anecdotal. It's rooted in rigorous research and replicated in multiple studies, involving real people. Here are some key takeaways. Controlled studies consistently show that individuals can lose fat and gain muscle simultaneously when they consume sufficient protein and engage in resistance training. The Longland et al. 2016 study demonstrated that even in a calorie deficit, high protein diets support muscle gain in regular folks, not just elite athletes. The Hahn et al. 2018 research revealed that up to 1.5 Gs lb of protein can even accelerate fat loss while preserving or increasing muscle mass. Multiple meta-analyses and reviews conclude that for most adults, protein intakes of around 0.7 to 1.0 Gs lb are optimal for body recomposition. Practical feedback from thousands of recreational lifters and everyday people confirms what science indicates. Recomposition is achievable and sustainable when strategies are properly applied. The mindset shift, patience, consistency, and trust in science. Resolving to pursue body recomposition requires a shift in mindset. Patience is key. Unlike quick fix diets, recomposition is a gradual process that rewards persistence. Consistency beats perfection. Missing a protein target or skipping a workout occasionally won't ruin your progress. The long-term habits matter most. Trust the science. Understanding that your body responds favorably when you provide the right signals, plenty of protein, resistance training, moderate calories, fuels motivation and resilience. Focus on progress, not perfection. Celebrate small wins, like increasing your lift, fitting into smaller clothes, or improving your energy levels. Final words of encouragement. Remember, your body is remarkably adaptable. Science shows us that you don't need to be a genetic freak or a beginner to achieve impressive transformations. With the right approach, high quality protein intake, resistance training, and patience, you can reprogram your body's energy systems toward burning fat, building muscle, and becoming a better version of yourself. This is about working smarter, not harder. No extreme diets, no magic pills, just consistent application of proven principles. The journey may take months, but every step forward reinforces confidence. Each workout, each nutritious meal, each day you stick to your plan. That's where transformation happens. Quick summary. Body recomposition is scientifically validated and achievable for most people. It relies on adequate protein intake, 0.7 to 1.0 G lb, resistance training, and in a moderate calorie deficit. The key mechanisms include muscle protein synthesis, fat mobilization, and hormonal regulation. Success requires consistency, patience, and tracking. Results include fat loss, muscle gain, and a more toned athletic physique, even if the scale stays the same. This approach breaks the old rules of bulk then cut and offers a sustainable, all-year-round strategy that transforms your body from the inside out. Chapter 12: High protein diets and metabolic advantages. When most people think of protein in their diet, they consider it primarily a building block for muscles and a hunger suppressant. The common recommendation is around 0.7 to 1.0 grams of protein per pound of body weight, enough to support muscle repair and general health. But what if you push beyond that? What happens when you consume significantly more protein, say 1.5, 2.0, or even more grams per pound of body weight? Is it safe? Does it offer any tangible benefits? Or is it just a fad with potential downsides? The surprising truth, and rooted deep in scientific research, is that very high protein diets, think 1.5 to 2.0 grams per pound of body weight, are not only safe for most people, but can actually provide a metabolic edge that makes fat loss easier and muscle gain more efficient. In this chapter, we'll explore this fascinating science, delving into how high protein diets impact your metabolism, appetite, body composition, and overall health, and how you can leverage this knowledge to accelerate your fitness results. The Surprising Study, Antonio et al., 2014. Let's start with a groundbreaking study. In 2014, a research team led by Roberto Antonio at the University of Alabama conducted an experiment involving trained individuals, people who already exercised regularly and were experienced with resistance training. What they did: participants were instructed to eat up to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, approximately 180 pounds person consuming 360 grams of protein daily. The study lasted 8 weeks, during which all other variables, training, calorie intake, etc., remained controlled. The participants' caloric intake was not restricted. Some were in mild surplus, others in slight deficit, but importantly, the focus was on protein intake. What happened? They did not gain fat. In fact, they lost fat and either gained muscle or maintained lean mass. Some participants even reported feeling warmer at night, a sign that their metabolism was working overtime. Remarkably, despite consuming 400 to 800 extra calories from protein alone, they experienced improved body composition, not fat gain. This breakthrough challenged decades of conventional dieting wisdom and opened the door to a new paradigm. High protein diets can facilitate fat loss and muscle gain even in the presence of caloric surplus or maintenance levels. Why high protein diets boost metabolism? The key to understanding why very high protein diets exert such powerful effects is in metabolic mechanisms, particularly the thermic effect of food, gluconeogenesis, and appetite regulation. The thermic effect of food, TEF. TOF is the energy your body invests in digesting, absorbing, and metabolizing nutrients. Protein has the highest TEF, with approximately 22 to 30% of its caloric content burned during digestion. This is much higher than carbs, 5 to 10%, and fats, 0 to 3%. Example: suppose you consume 360 grams of protein, about 1,440 calories daily. If 21 to 30% of those calories are used just for digestion, your body burns 288 to 432 calories solely processing that protein. This free calorie burn means that high protein diets can increase your resting metabolic rate significantly, especially when protein intake is elevated. Gluconeogenesis and energy expenditure. Gluconeogenesis is the process of converting amino acids into glucose to supply energy, especially when carbohydrate intake is insufficient. This process requires energy, further boosting metabolic rate. High protein diets increase gluconeogenesis, which contributes to greater energy expenditure beyond the basal metabolic rate. Scientific insight. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Nutrition demonstrated that protein-dependent gluconeogenesis can add to your daily caloric burn, particularly when protein intakes are elevated. Appetite suppression and satiety hormones. High protein diets have a well-documented impact on appetite regulation, which plays a crucial role in body composition changes. When you increase your protein intake, ghrelin levels decrease. Ghrelin is known as the hunger hormone because it stimulates appetite. Elevated ghrelin levels make you feel hungry and increase calorie intake. Protein consumption significantly suppresses ghrelin, leading to decreased feelings of hunger. Increase in satiety hormones. Proteins stimulate the release of hormones such as GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1, PYY, peptide YY, and CCK, cholecystokinin. These hormones promote feelings of fullness, slow gastric emptying, and reduce food intake. Practical implication: when your diet is rich in protein, you naturally feel more full and are less likely to binge or overeat. This reduced appetite makes it easier to sustain a caloric deficit necessary for fat loss, even without conscious calorie counting. Scientific evidence: a 2015 meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that higher protein diets lead to greater satiety, reduction in overall calorie intake, and more efficient fat loss. Participants in high protein diets often spontaneously reduce their intake of carbs and fats, helping maintain a calorie deficit without extensive calorie counting, the metabolic edge of extremely high protein diets. Now, let's explore what happens when you go beyond typical recommendations, pushing protein intake to 1.5 versus 2.0 grams per pound of body weight, safety, and feasibility. Traditionally, high-protein diets were viewed skeptically due to concerns about kidney health or bone health. However, most research now indicates that healthy individuals can safely consume up to 2.0 GLB without adverse effects. For those with pre-existing kidney conditions, caution is warranted, but for the general population, high-protein diets are safe and well tolerated when paired with adequate hydration and balanced nutrition. Additional benefits: enhanced fat oxidation. Higher protein intake increases the body's capacity to oxidize stored fat for fuel, especially when combined with resistance training. Muscle preservation and growth. A higher amino acid supply facilitates muscle repair, supports hypertrophy during training, and prevents muscle loss during calorie deficits. Reduction in cravings. Higher satiety hormones further suppress appetite, reducing overall calorie intake naturally. Practical considerations and real-world examples. Let's consider Michael, a 200-pound athlete aiming for a leaner physique. He decides to target 1.5 GLB, roughly 300 grams of protein daily. Results after 10 weeks: noticeable fat loss and muscle definition, reduced hunger and cravings, better recovery and workouts. Michael found that eating more protein made it easier to stay in a calorie deficit because he felt full longer and was less tempted to snack. Should you aim for 2.0 GLB or more, while most people will find 0.7 to 1.0 GLB sufficient for body recomposition, some advanced athletes or those on plateaus may benefit from going higher, such as 1.5 to 2.0 GLB, especially during phases of calorie restriction where muscle preservation is critical, using liquid sources like shakes to meet targets without discomfort, adjusting based on how your body responds and your lifestyle. Caution: and increasing protein gradually helps avoid digestive discomfort and kidney strain. Also, ensure you're training hard. Simply eating more won't produce results unless combined with resistance training. Reassessing old myths about extra protein. Let's bust some myths. Myth 1: extra protein turns into fat. Reality: your body is inefficient at converting amino acids into fat compared to storing excess carbohydrate or fat. When you consume more protein than your body needs for muscle repair and maintenance, the surplus is mostly used for energy expenditure or amino acid pool maintenance. Only under extreme and sustained caloric excess, far beyond typical high-protein diets, is de novo lipogenesis, the process of converting amino acids into fat, significantly activated. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Nutrition confirmed that excess calories from protein tend not to contribute to fat gain, but are instead either burned off or used for muscle repair. Myth 2. High protein diets are bad for your kidneys. Reality. For healthy individuals, there's no evidence that high protein consumption causes kidney damage. The concern stems from studies involving people with pre existing kidney disease. For the general population, research indicates that protein intake up to 2.00 GCLB is safe and does not impair kidney function. However, those with kidney issues should consult a healthcare professional before significantly increasing protein intake. Myth 3. High protein is hard on bones. Reality. Some early studies suggested a link between high protein and calcium loss, but more recent research shows that high protein diets may actually benefit bone health. Proteins support the production of collagen and other structural components of bones, and increased calcium absorption in response to high protein diets may occur. Myth 4. You need to cycle protein intake. Reality. Consistent high protein intake is safe and often more effective for body composition goals. Cycling or restricting protein isn't necessary unless specifically recommended for medical reasons. Additional benefits of very high protein diets. Beyond the metabolic advantages, there are other notable benefits. Enhanced muscle repair and hypertrophy. The abundant amino acids supply ensures your muscles have what they need to recover and grow, particularly important during calorie deficits or intense training phases. Better blood sugar control. High protein can increase insulin sensitivity, aiding in blood sugar regulation and reducing risk factors for metabolic disease. Increased thermogenesis. Higher protein intake boosts calorie expenditure via TF, which can slightly elevate your daily burn rate. Sustained energy levels. Protein's stabilizing effect on blood glucose helps maintain consistent energy, reducing fatigues and improving workout quality. Reduced cravings and binging. As mentioned earlier, high protein suppresses hunger hormones, helping you stick to your calorie goals and avoid overeating. Practical tips for implementing a high protein diet. To maximize these benefits safely and comfortably, gradually increase protein intake. Sudden increases can cause digestive discomfort. Add protein-rich foods gradually and listen to your body. Distribute protein evenly. Aim for 20 to 40 grams per meal to stimulate muscle protein synthesis throughout the day. Use diverse sources. Incorporate lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, legumes, and plant-based options to ensure a wide range of amino acids and micronutrients. Stay hydrated. Increased protein can put strain on the kidneys and dehydration risks, so drink plenty of water. Pair with resistance training to capitalize fully on the muscle-sparing and anabolic effects. Combine high protein with a structured resistance program. Monitor your response. So track your weight, body composition, and energy levels. Adjust intake if necessary. In summary, high protein diets, especially at levels of 1.5 to 2.0 grams per pound of body weight, are scientifically supported and clinically safe for most healthy individuals. They offer multiple metabolic advantages: increased thermogenesis, enhanced glucose metabolism through gluconeogenesis, regulation of hunger hormones resulting in better appetite control, support and preservation of muscle mass during fat loss, and a reliable tool to accelerate fat loss and muscle gain. The old misconceptions that excess protein is harmful or that it turns directly into fat are not supported by current science. Instead, protein is a powerful asset in your nutrition arsenal, a tool to boost your metabolism, control hunger, and improve body composition. Chapter 8. Practical Application and Flexibility. You now understand that protein is your secret weapon for losing fat and gaining muscle. But knowing the science is only half the battle. The real challenge is applying it in your daily life, especially with a hectic schedule, work commitments, family responsibilities, and social events. The good news is that flexibility and sustainability are key to long term success. In this chapter, we'll explore practical strategies to help you consistently hit your protein targets, build habits that last, and adapt your nutrition plans to fit your lifestyle without feeling overwhelmed. The power of practical tools, protein powders, and whole foods. Protein powder is a valuable tool for busy days or when you need a quick protein fix. Whether it's whey, casein, or plant based options like pea or rice protein, these powders provide 22 to 30 grams of high quality protein in seconds. How to use protein powders effectively. Smoothies. Blend a scoop with water or milk and add fruits like berries or bananas for flavor and nutrients. Shakes on the go. Keep single serve packets or scoops in your bag or desk drawer. In recipes, mix into oatmeal, pancake batter, or homemade protein bars. But don't rely solely on powders. Whole foods are nutrient dense, rich in vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and help keep you fuller longer. Incorporate a variety of high protein foods like in lean meats, chicken breast, turkey and beef, fish, eggs and dairy, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, plant-based options, and tofu, tempeh, lentils, and chickpeas, edamame. Aim for about 70-80% of your daily protein intake to come from whole foods, with powders filling in the gaps when needed. Tailoring protein strategies to different lifestyles. 1. For the 9 to 5 worker meal prep is your best friend. Dedicate a couple of hours on weekends to cook and portion out meals. Batch cook lean proteins like chicken breasts, turkey meatballs, or hard-boiled eggs. Prepare high-protein sides such as lentils, quinoa, or Greek yogurt. Use meal containers to grab and go during busy mornings and lunches. Pro tip: keep portable snacks handy. Jerky, watch for added sugars and sodium. Trail mix with nuts and dried fruit. Protein bars, preferably low in sugar. Canned tuna or salmon. 2. For students and busy professionals. Pack portable, high-protein snacks with you. Greek yogurt cups, hard-boiled eggs, protein shakes or powders, beef or turkey jerky, cottage cheese containers, quick meals, pre-made chicken or turkey wraps, protein-rich salads, instant oatmeal mixed with protein powder. 3. For parents and families, involve your kids in making protein-packed snacks. Turkey roll-ups with cheese, mini egg muffins, string cheese or cottage cheese with fruit. Family dinners, serve grilled fish or chicken with vegetables. Make high-protein casseroles or stir-fries. Incorporate plant-based proteins like beans and lentils into family meals. 4. For frequent travelers, plan ahead. Pack travel-friendly protein powders in small Ziploc bags. Use insulated bottles to carry shakes. Research restaurants with high-protein options. Grilled fish or steaks, sashimi or sushi, grilled chicken salads, omelets with vegetables. Tip: look for high-protein salads or side dishes to add to your meal. Budget-friendly high-protein eating. Eating high-protein foods doesn't have to break the bank. Here are some cost-effective tips. Buy in bulk. Canned tuna, salmon, and sardines are inexpensive and last long. Frozen meats, chicken breasts, shrimp, and fish fillets are often cheaper when frozen. Eggs. At less than 0.30 each, some eggs are a protein powerhouse. Legumes and beans, lentils and chickpeas, and black beans are affordable, versatile, and high in protein. Dairy, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, tracking and portioning made simple. While tracking your food intake precisely can accelerate progress, it may not be necessary for everyone. Here's how to keep it simple. Estimate portions. A palm-sized portion of meat, or 3-4 Oz, 20-25 grams of protein, a fist-sized serving of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, just 1 cup, 15 to 20 grams of a scoop of protein powder, 30 grams to 20 to 25 grams. Use visual cues. Over time, you'll develop a sense of these portions, making tracking easier. Apps and tools. If you're detail-oriented, use apps like MyFitnessPal or Lose It to log meals, set reminders, and monitor your protein intake. Tip: most people aim for about 0.7-1.0 grams of protein per pound of body weight daily. For example, a 150-pound person would target around 105-150 grams. Avoiding common pitfalls. To ensure your high-protein efforts are sustainable and effective, recognize and avoid some common mistakes. Over-reliance on supplements. While protein powders are convenient, they shouldn't replace whole foods entirely. Whole foods provide micronutrients and satiety that powders don't. Restrictive diets. Cutting entire food groups can lead to nutrient deficiencies and is hard to maintain. Focus on variety and balance. Thinking more is better. Excessive protein beyond your needs offers diminishing returns and may burden your kidneys if you have pre-existing conditions. Ignoring overall calorie intake. Even with high protein, excess calories from any source can stall fat loss. Balance your total caloric intake with your goals. Getting frustrated if goals aren't met immediately. Consistency over weeks and months beats quick fixes. Building sustainable, enjoyable habits. The key to long-term success is sustainability. Here's how to make high-protein eating a natural part of your life. Plan simple meals that you enjoy and can prepare easily. Experiment with flavors and recipes. Marinate meats, spice up dishes, try new cuisines to keep meals exciting. Involve your family or roommates. Make high-protein meals a family affair. Everyone benefits. Adjust based on progress. If you're not seeing results, tweak your intake slightly or adjust your workout routine. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Life is unpredictable. Flexibility and adaptability are your best friends. Success stories. Real people, real results. 1. Lisa's journey to sustainable gains. Background. Lisa, a 28-year-old graphic designer, found it difficult to consistently meet her protein goals of 120 grams daily due to her hectic schedule. She often skipped breakfast and relied on quick, carb-heavy lunches. Strategy. She started by adding a protein shake to her morning coffee, providing around 25 grams of protein immediately. Swapped her usual sandwich for a chicken wrap that delivered about 40 grams of protein. Kept a stash of jerky and Greek yogurt at her desk for snack times. Dined on salmon or turkey chili for dinner, reaching an overall daily intake of approximately 130 grams. Results. Within 4 weeks, Lisa reported feeling more energized and noticing that her clothes fit better. Her muscle tone improved, and she experienced less hunger pangs throughout the day. Over 3 months, she lost unwanted body fat and gained some lean muscle without drastic changes to her routine. Key takeaway: small, manageable changes, like adding a protein shake or swapping a lunch item, made her diet more effective and sustainable. 2. Mike's cost-effective, high-protein routine background. Mike is a 35-year-old IT professional who wanted to improve his body composition but thought high-quality protein foods were too expensive. Strategy. He prioritized bulk purchases, canned tuna, frozen chicken breasts, and eggs. Prepared big batches of boiled eggs and grilled chicken on weekends. Used cost-effective staples like lentils and oats to boost daily protein. Integrated a protein shake post-workout and as a quick breakfast replacement. Results: Mike consistently hit his target of around 150 grams of protein daily. Over 8 weeks, he saw noticeable reductions in body fat and increased strength. He appreciated that his diet was budget-friendly, with daily food costs under $8. Key takeaway: strategic shopping and batch cooking helped him sustain high protein intake without financial strain, emphasizing that quality and affordability can go hand in hand. 3. Sarah's busy mom transformation background. Sarah, a mother of 2, struggled with time and energy. She wanted to maintain her weight and increase muscle tone but lacked time for meal prep. Strategy: she involved her children in making protein-rich snacks like turkey roll-ups and egg muffins. Used pre-cooked rotisserie chicken for quick salads or wraps. Kept Greek yogurt cups and cottage cheese handy. Swapped out her snack bars for homemade protein balls made with oats, peanut butter, and whey isolate. Results: Sarah reported feeling more satisfied between meals, noticed better muscle definition, and less fatigue during her workouts. Her energy levels remained stable, making her daily routines smoother. Key takeaway: involving the family and preparing easy, high-protein meals made it sustainable and enjoyable, fitting seamlessly into her busy life. Final tips for immediate action. Ready to start? Here's a simple, step-by-step plan to kick off your high-protein journey today. 1. Set your target to determine your daily protein goal based on your weight. As a rule of thumb, aim for about 0.7 to 1.0 grams per pound of body weight. 2. Plan your meals. Identify 3 main meals and 2 snacks that can deliver the bulk of your protein. Think eggs, chicken, Greek yogurt, fish, or plant-based sources. 3. Stock your pantry. Keep affordable staples like canned fish, lentils, oats, and eggs on hand. Purchase in bulk when possible. 4. Use 1 or 2 supplements. Incorporate a protein shake or bar to bridge gaps, especially on busy days. 5. Track your intake initially. Use an app or simple food diary. Remember, aim to hit your target most days, but don't stress over perfection. 6. Build habits, not rules. Focus on consistency and making high-protein foods part of your everyday routine. Wrapping up, making high-protein eating a natural part of your life. The journey to a better body doesn't require perfection, extreme restrictions, or rigid routines. What matters most is consistency, sustainability, and adaptability. Remember, high-protein diets are flexible. You don't need to eat like a bodybuilder or sacrifice all your favorite foods. Small, manageable actions add up. Simple daily choices, like adding a scoop of protein to your morning oatmeal or choosing grilled chicken over fried, compound over time. Sustainability is key. Build habits around foods you enjoy and routines that fit your lifestyle. This approach ensures that high-protein eating becomes second nature, not a chore. Your action plan to get started today. 1. Set your target. Calculate your daily protein goal. For most, it's around 0.7 to 1.0 gram per pound of body weight. Plan your meals. Identify top sources you like: chicken, eggs, Greek yogurt, lentils, and include them in your daily routine. Prep ahead. Batch cook a few foods on weekends: grilled chicken, boiled eggs, or lentil salads to save time. Stock your kitchen. Keep affordable staples and emergency options like canned fish, frozen meats, and protein powders. Track progress, but don't obsess. Use an app or phone notes to monitor your intake initially. Over time, develop a mental sense of serving sizes. Adjust as you go, listen to your body, refine your habits, and celebrate small wins along the way. Final motivational words. Remember, no single meal or day defines your progress. It's about consistent effort over weeks and months. Small, sustainable changes, like increasing your protein intake gradually or swapping a snack, can lead to transformational results. Your commitment to applying these strategies is a powerful step toward achieving your dream physique and health. With perseverance, patience, and a flexible mindset, high-protein eating will become a natural, enjoyable part of your life, helping you lose fat, gain muscle, and feel better every day. In the next and final chapter, we'll review everything from the science to the practical steps and give you a clear, straightforward plan to start today. Your transformation begins now. Chapter 9, Conclusion, Simplifying the Transformation. Congratulations, you've reached the final chapter, and you now hold the knowledge and strategies to transform your body into a healthier, stronger, and more confident version of yourself. While the journey may seem complex at first, the core principles are straightforward. The goal is sustainable progress, not perfection. Instead, by focusing on consistent habits and making small, manageable changes, you'll see remarkable results over time. Let's recap the essential points and create a clear, actionable plan to get started today. The critical role of protein is the foundation of your transformation. It supports muscle growth, promotes satiety, and boosts your metabolic rate. The science recommends aiming for 0.7 to 1.0 grams of protein per pound of body weight daily for most people. Why this range? Supports muscle repair and hypertrophy, enhances fat loss by increasing energy expenditure, reduces hunger and cravings, making it easier to stay in a calorie deficit. Example, if you weigh 160 pounds, your daily target is 112 to 160 grams of protein. How to hit your target? Distribute your protein intake across 3 signature 4 meals / snacks. Incorporate whole foods like eggs, chicken, fish, tofu, and dairy. Use protein powders when needed to fill gaps. Timing is flexible. Forget the myth of the anabolic window. You don't need to eat protein immediately after your workout to see benefits. The key is simply, ensure you meet your daily protein goal. Focus on consistent intake, not timing. You can eat big meals, small snacks, or practice intermittent fasting, whatever suits your lifestyle. Practical tip: if mornings are busy, have a protein-rich shake or a couple of boiled eggs to start your day. If you prefer larger meals, ensure each contains a healthy portion of protein. Recomposition is achievable. You can lose fat and gain muscle simultaneously, regardless of your starting point, especially when you follow a high-protein diet, incorporate resistance training, maintain caloric control. This process, known as body recomposition, is the most sustainable way to improve body composition over time. Going beyond the baseline, the power of high-protein intake. While 0.7 1.0 GLB is sufficient, eating more than that, up to about 1.5 GLB, can accelerate fat loss and maximize muscle gains by boosting metabolism through increased thermic effect, further controlling hunger and reducing calorie intake naturally, supporting muscle preservation and hypertrophy. Example, a competitive athlete or someone on a cutting phase might aim for 1.2 to 1.5 GLB, especially during calorie deficits. Make it work for you. Practical strategies. Achieving your goals requires tools and habits that fit into your daily routine. Here's how. 1. Use protein powders. Wisely, they're convenient, portable, and effective for filling gaps, especially on busy days. Mix into smoothies, oatmeal, or coffee. Keep single-serve packets in your bag or office drawer. Aim for 1 to 2 servings daily, depending on your needs. 2-point meal prep and planning. Prepare high-protein meals in advance. Grill multiple chicken breasts or fish fillets on Sundays. Make large batches of lentil or bean salads. Portion out Greek yogurt or cottage cheese into containers. Use leftovers creatively to save time and money. 3. Snack smarter. Carry protein-rich snacks wherever you go. Jerky, nuts with cheese, boiled eggs, protein bars. Opt for low-sugar options. 4. Track your progress. Use simple tools, food diary or apps like MyFitnessPal. Note your strength gains, waist measurements, or clothing fit. Don't obsess. Aim for consistency over perfection. 5. Adjust and flex. If progress stalls, tweak your intake or training. Increase protein slightly. Add more resistance training. Check your overall calorie intake. Focus on habits, not perfection. Transforming your body is a journey, not a quick fix. It's about building habits that become second nature, not about being perfect every day. Missed a workout? Had an indulgent meal? That's normal. What matters is getting back on track quickly and maintaining your overall trajectory. Embrace progress, not perfection. Celebrate small wins, hitting your protein target, trying a new healthy recipe, or completing an extra set of reps. Understand setbacks. They're part of the process. Use them as learning opportunities rather than reasons to give up. Focus on consistency over time. The compound effect of daily habits yields lasting change. Cultivate a growth mindset. Believe you can improve with effort and persistence. View challenges as opportunities to learn rather than failures. Trust in the process. Progress may be slow at times, but perseverance always pays off. Your body transformation is a long-term investment. Think of your transformation like nurturing a tree. Protein is the soil. It provides the essential nutrients your body needs to grow and repair. Training is the sunlight. It drives your body's adaptation and strength gains. Consistency is the water. It keeps everything alive and flourishing over time. You don't water a tree once and expect it to grow overnight. It takes time, patience, and consistent care. Similarly, your body needs regular nourishment, challenge, and patience to transform. Your action steps to start today. To turn these principles into action, start with small, manageable steps. 1. Calculate your protein target. Multiply your body weight by 0.7 to 1.0, for example. A 160-pound person aims for 112 to 160 grams daily. Plan your meals. Ensure each includes a good source of protein: eggs, chicken, fish, tofu, or dairy. Incorporate convenience tools. Use protein powders or ready-to-eat options when time is tight. Prepare ahead. Batch cook and portion foods on weekends to simplify busy weekdays. Track your intake. Use apps or simple logs until estimating becomes second nature. Stay flexible. Life happens. Adjust your plan as needed, and don't stress over occasional slip-ups. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but progress. Small, consistent actions compound into big results. Challenge yourself. Here's a simple challenge to get started. Tomorrow, add 10 grams of protein to your day. For example, by swapping a snack for Greek yogurt, adding an extra egg to breakfast, or including a serving of fish at dinner. Share your progress, challenges, or successes in the comments or with friends. Connecting and sharing keeps you accountable and motivated. Your transformation isn't about following a strict, short-term plan. It's about building sustainable habits that you can maintain for months or years. Science shows that high protein intake, consistent resistance training, and a flexible mindset lead to lasting changes in body composition and health. So stop overthinking, start taking small, consistent steps today, and trust the process. Your best self is waiting, ready to grow, stronger and healthier, one habit at a time. You've got this. Now you're ready to begin your journey. Your future self will thank you. Thank you, cherished listeners, for joining us on this serene and informative journey here at Sleep Lush. Your presence in this tranquil space means the world, and we're honored to share this moment of calm with you. As the gentle science of rest unfolds, let the soothing sounds of this video wrap you in peace, guiding you toward deep relaxation or even a restful slumber. Stay with us, let your worries dissolve like stars fading at dawn, and continue drifting along to the calming rhythms and insights that await. Your body and mind deserve this gentle embrace.